Everyone, hope everything is going well. Found this on The Athletic, and it reminded me, Dan the Cardman did a video, I think a month ago, about this. Fake Messi autographs and Topp's finest, question mark. And Athletic picked up the story once again a month after. And let's just take a look at it. So you have this individual, Nick Bruce, and his son freaked out. And this is by Larry Holder. It says Lionel Messi trading card controversy. Who is signing his autographs? Nick Bruce and his son freaked out when they pulled an autographed Lionel Messi card from a pack around Christmas holidays at their home. It's a normal reaction. Okay, yeah. They were pumped up. They thought that the edges, the corners were pretty good and all of that. And this is ridiculous on Topp's part. It says Top certified autographed issue. The fine print on the front of the 2021-2022 Topps Finest Flashbacks UEFA Champions League Football's Finest All-Star Autographs reads Topps certified autograph issue. The signing of all Topps autographs is witnessed by a Topps representative to guarantee authenticity. Bullcrap. Bullcrap. So then Bruce sent it off to PSA for authentication. And it just said that the card was authentic. And the company allowed Bruce to resend it for regrading. Expedite turned to several weeks. PSA called him, and the representative said, Nick, the signature is fake. Then the representative alluded to a rumor never substantiated that has circulated online for years about signatures advertised as Messi's. You know, Dan talked about this, and other soccer collectors have as well. You could find that on the interwebs. She's like, there's potential that this could have been his brothers that signed it. Bruce said it's not clear what that suggestion was based on or what evidence there is for it. So I do TTM, and some of the cards that I've received, I don't think are legit autographs. Like I got Phil Jackson's air quotes autographed. I looked at some of his other authenticated autographs in a PSA holder. It does not look like it. I don't even need to ask Rick about this. Okay. It doesn't seem legit. I was like so pumped when I got the autograph, and I'm like, I don't know. I did post it on my social media. Going back to the story, Bruce then contacted Topps, and then Fanatics, took over in 2022. Topps rep said, I can't promise anything will be done as the product was released over a year ago, but I'll ask their review as courtesy if you file a product defects submission and include PSA documentation. This wasn't the usual product defect. And they're talking about other people. And later on in the article, it says there's another example of this when Pat's Poll submitted a customer's 2021 Panini Immaculate Messi autograph to be graded by PSA. The grading company deemed the autograph as inconclusive and refused to grade it. And he wanted, going back to the story, Bruce waited until PSA did their due diligence again, and they gave him a refund. And then he spoke to The Athletic. We have spoken with PSA and we can remake this card with the new sticker, auto, and PSA stated that they will authenticate it. If you're interested in pursuing this resolution, I have attached a prepaid label for you to return this to us. Receive the card. We will begin process of remaking your son's Lionel Messi card with the new sticker, auto. Now, I'm just thinking out loud. Did did he tell um, PSA and Tops, hey, I'm going to the media, and specifically Tops? Did that change their mind? Who knows? Because Michael Rubin, once it gets to the media, negative publicity, he has a response. It may not be a, you know, paragraph issue response, but he's going to probably say something or PR is going to come out about it. Now, if you have some YouTube videos, they'll ignore it. And I would not be surprised if there are influencers on payroll that have signed NDAs with Fanatics. And you usually see some of those guys bashing, you know, people like me and other influencers as well, and to mock, in air quotes, conspiracy theories. I think that's their job of some influencers on Instagram and on YouTube. They're like controlled opposition, but they work for these big companies. That's a rumor that has been circulating, and also, some people have been telling me that. And it did go further into what Tops and Fanatics thinking. Now let's read this. Tops and Fanatics, however, did not confirm that, and it's unclear whether there's an alternate explanation for what PSA found. PSA grades are not immune from human error, differences, or judgments. Okay. Athletics sent questions to both PSA Ryan Hodge and Fanatics Collectibles top CEO Mike Mahan. And yeah, I think this is why they both acted together, or specifically Tops and Fanatics wanted to make sure that this would be solved ASAP because they don't want negative publicity. And PSA said, we are already working with Tops on this specific instance with the resolution in the works. For occurrences such as these, we regularly work with manufacturers on solutions. In this case, we're able to have Tops send us the recreated card directly for us to complete the authentication grading process. Hodge didn't respond to other questions. How often has someone other than Messi potentially signing his cards been an issue on certified products from Tops or Panini? And how many Messi autographs certified by Topps Panini have failed PSA authentication? And through a Fanatics spokesman, Mahan declined to comment on any of the questions sent via email by The Athletic, including Topps' position on PSA's non-authentic decision, why the company offered to remake the card, and whether Topps offers to remake every certified autograph if PSA tabs the autograph is inauthentic. Yeah, there's a reason why Mahan did not respond to that, because then they would probably have to make whole a lot of individuals. And the only reason why he probably, or Fanatics probably, made sure this Bruce guy got his card was because The Athletic was going to do a story on it. Now, if a small channel like mine covers hanky panky that Fanatics is doing, and how the CEO and Ruben, they're hanging out with former Coke dealers, it's okay. They're going to ignore it. As long as it doesn't get to the Athletic, as long as it doesn't get to Collect, as long as it doesn't get to the mainstream media, it's okay. Just have one of the minions that may have an NDA with Fanatics. Just go after them, or go after conspiracy theories. That's how I think it gets done. So now the question is, why doesn't Topps have a witness authenticating Messi's signature? Like, then why have him? Why even have these cards? Okay, I get it. Sometimes Messi goes into the Panini office to sign cards back in the day, but it just doesn't add up. Not sure why this goes on. And then later on the article it talks about how Messi's signature has been consistent, and if there's a deviation, people will just not cry foul. They'll say like, "Hey, look, we're not going to authenticate it." Could be that. So it is what it is. Just make sure whenever you're going to, a show, sometimes these autographs that are on these cards, they're not real. And for a newbie, there are scammers in the hobby that will take advantage of you. They'll be, oh, let's be positive, everyone. No, just watch out. And, and also if you're unsure, just look at the signature and look at what the exercise was done when analyzing, that whole situation. Was it with The Rock and Rick? Just analyze the signatures of what's been authenticated in the past by like PSA or Beckett, and then compare it to the card that you want that's not authenticated. That doesn't mean that, that signature that you see graded and authenticated is going to be perfectly like the card that you want authenticated, but I don't know. It's a start. Now, this article later says that there has been no finding of fraud in this case, but any seller of inauthentic or fraudulent sports memorabilia could be subject to significant criminal charges and civil actions. That's right. Just remember that if you're selling fake signatures, and then on top of it, and you've stated that it's fake, and then, or and you know, it's fake. Just like if you have stolen property, you don't sell stolen property. And when that whole saga with the Enrico case was going on, people got mad at me. It's unreal. The Prism God story, right? It was unreal. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. I'll talk to you later. Bye.